And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm, of course, Darnock with TGN, bringing you another cast from the StarCraft 2 show. Go subscribe to that if you haven't already. It's fantastic. I went downstairs, I ate some cheese, I'm keeping my strength up, and I am ready to cast this second game. And I'm going to need all the help I can get because this is a best of 5, and based on what we saw in that last game, both of our players are pretty evenly matched, so I'm going to be very interested to see how this game, or rather this series, and this game I suppose, does progress. Now, I really liked seeing the new style out of QXC in that last game. I thought it was very, very cool indeed. However, I wonder if he's actually going to continue to do that throughout this entire series. And the reason I say that is because basically the trademark of QXC, his hallmark, is those aggressive drops. And with that new style, you can't really do those quite as well. Yeah, you can drop siege tanks, you can drop Hellions, you can do all that good stuff. But in general, the bread and butter Marine drops are a lot more versatile because, like, you know, if you drop those Hellions and one siege tank comes to defend it, you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess my drop is dead now, time to leave. But, you know, if you have those 8s Marines, you can definitely power through a lot more. And Marines have crazy DPS. It's absolutely off the hook. So I really do think QXC should bounce back and forth between the new style and the old style because he is great at those drops. He knows exactly what he has to do in every single situation when he is dropping, and he can definitely pick an opponent apart like that in a very impressive way indeed. So I really do hope we do see that out of him. Both players going pretty similar builds right now. Trimaster's barracks just a little bit ahead of QXC's. QXC's gas a little bit ahead of Trimaster's. Nothing big. No big issues there. Just slight tweaks to their builds. The map is going to be Terminus Re, which is, of course, a GSL map, Global StarCraft League. A massive map. I'm not sure if it's the biggest or the second biggest. I can never remember whether this or Tal'Darim Altar is actually larger, or if they're the same size. That actually might be the case, because they're both freaking huge. It's ridiculous. They're so big. I'm gonna have to look that up someday, but today is not that day, because I am busy casting an awesome TVT. And I did choose this series specifically because it was a TVT, as I have been laddering a Zerg a lot for the past week. I do play random, but my Zerg is definitely my weakest race, so I was trying to practice up there. And I started going into a little Terran withdrawals, so I decided to appease those by casting a TVT. And I actually really do like the TVT matchup. I know a lot of people really aren't a fan of it, but I'm not sure I really agree with that anymore. I definitely could understand that back in the day when it was just, okay, you have a bunch of siege tanks, and I have a bunch of siege tanks, and each game is going to last 45 minutes because it's impossible to kill a Terran with a bunch of siege tanks. But based off that last game, if you were paying attention, it has evolved quite a bit, and things are very action-packed these days. QXC looks like he's teching up that 1-1-1 tech tree once again. The starport is, of course, on the way, and the question is, what is going to land on this tech lab? Will the factory pop over there after it does finish this Hellion, or will the starport land there? So now is the moment of truth. What are you going to do, factory? Going to produce another Hellion, so it does look like that starport is going to take the tech lab. In the meantime, what's going on in Trimaster's base? He has a barracks, he has a factory, no starport on the way yet, and he's going for some blue flame Hellions right off the bat. So cool stuff indeed. QXC tried to get his scout off. It didn't work out, though, so he has no idea what's going on in Trimaster's base. Trimaster, at the same time, has no idea what's going on in QXC's base. Now QXC is going to start roaming around with this first Hellion, and hey, look, free Marine. Yes, sir, thank you very much. And now QXC is going to have to get out of there because he will lose that fight. Trimaster's SCV does get over here. Looks like it has lost the will to live. There we go. Now it is receiving orders once again. Doesn't see anything meaningful, though. And yeah, we do see the starport has landed on this tech lab. It is researching, or building a Banshee, but is not researching Cloak, and really isn't showing any signs of doing so. So we're going to have Blue Flames from Trimaster versus a Banshee from QXC. And Banshees are pretty good against Blue Flame Hellions, let me tell you that. Now, at the same time, Trimaster just finished a starport. Is he going to produce a medevac out of it immediately? Medevac. Okay, no medevac. This makes me a sad panda. I was hoping we were going to see a Blue Flame drop, which is my favorite kind of drop. But no, not going to see that quite yet. Instead, we're going to see it land onto that reactor. Now, here comes the first Banshee. There's really not a whole lot here that Trimaster could do about it. He has 3 Marines. 3 Marines. That's not a lot of Marines. certainly not enough to kill a Banshee. I think a Banshee can actually just kill 3 Marines without any micro at all. So QXC feeling pretty good right now. At the same time, he's moving some Hellions into position. More Hellions coming out. Keep in mind, these are 3 Blue Flame Hellions versus 3 non-Blue Flame Hellions, though, so Trimaster is going to win this rather nicely. Actually, no, QXC with some good micro is doing pretty well in that regard. And this Banshee already up to 10 kills. QXC does win the Hellion battle as well, even though he did not have Blue Flame Hellions. And oh my goodness, Trimaster is in a terrible position right now. This Banshee up to a total of 14 kills. It is going to get pushed away by this Viking as it does not have Cloak, but wow, Trimaster not in good shape at all. He even has a barracks over here he's not producing out of. He actually has no barracks on the ground. Oh my goodness, that's not good. That is not good at all. QXC is certainly in the lead. Both players on one base for the time being, but QXC taking his orbital command right now. And middle mouse button is not cooperating with me at all. And look at this, QXC even able to save the Banshee. QXC unbelievably ahead right now. Taking a look at the Harvester tab. 17 SCVs to 26 of QXC. Plus, keep in mind, QXC already has his orbital command up, so that's going to be double the mules. Whereas Trimaster only just now building that that second command center. It is about halfway done, and he is going to go for a Blue Flame Hellion drop. Definitely the thing to do. You might think, well, isn't that a bad idea? Doesn't he need to be conservative and defensive? And the answer is actually no. If he plays a normal game from here on out, a conservative defensive game, he will lose. QXC is not going to make any macro mistakes or anything like that, and victory is practically assured for QXC right now. However, if Trimaster goes for a Blue Flame Hellion drop, it probably won't work. That's absolutely right. But you know what? He might get lucky, and only through getting lucky is he going to be victorious. So we do see that that drop is moving into position just behind the natural of QXC right now. QXC doesn't have a whole lot to defend against this. He does have a couple of Vikings. He has some Marines as well, but these Blue Flame Hellions could deal some serious damage. QXC, though, is going to react very, very quickly. Nice spread on those SCVs, too. Not going to give up too many free ones. Bring them over to the bunkers so those Marines do start shooting away at the Hellion. There is a small altercation in the middle of the map, but it does look like QXC is going to win that one. The Hellions are going to make it up into the main, and this is where serious damage could be done. He's starting to shoot at those SCVs. None of them have actually died, though. One SCV down now, and these landed Vikings are slowly trundling after these Hellions. They actually look so funny when they're on the ground. And these Hellions are going to get cleaned up as QXC has a Blue Flame upgrade of his own right now. And if we take a look at the Harvesters, 31 SCVs for QXC versus 23 for Trimaster. QXC is still in a great position. It looks like Trimaster's medevac even got killed by those Vikings, as I'm not seeing it anywhere on the minimap or the units tab for that matter. Trimaster is now going to be taking his natural. We do see those gases are getting put up. But let's just take a look at the unit counting station. We see Trimaster with 4 Hellions and 2 Vikings and Raven. QXC has 7 Hellions, 1 Banshee, 3 Vikings, and 8 Marines. QXC just in great position. And he's actually going to push forward with these Vikings, but oh no, there is a Raven there ready and waiting. And that point defense drone is going to completely save Trimaster and even put him a little bit ahead in the air battle. So there is a small victory there for our intrepid underdog. And there is the Automaton 2000. It's very important to point that out every cast. And I actually wonder why QXC is waiting. He can actually just go and kill Trimaster at this point. He has almost double his supply. QXC is not known for being as conservative as he is right now. Trimaster, though, he does have 3 factories up right now, which is very good. 2 of them are tech labs, so if he's able to get enough siege tanks, he might be able to hold off any aggression from QXC. However, QXC right now is pushing forward with 5 Blue Flame Hellions, can absolutely roast everything they do come across. They are going to be able to out-micro those Vikings very easily as well. Blah, not sure why I had such trouble with that phrase. Good cut off there from Trimaster, going to be able to finish off those Hellions without too much damage really dealt. A few SCVs did go down, and then that was really it. So good control from Trimaster right there, and he does have his first siege tank out, and I don't think QXC has any siege tanks, so that's going to be a pretty good victory right there. Siege tanks are pretty good, and if you do have an advantage there, you are feeling pretty good as well. Now, Trimaster, I'm not sure he should really be this aggressive with his paltry mechanized force right now here, and he is going to lose one of those Hellions, almost going to lose the second one. And, oh, the Banshee is completely undefended against, that's not a word, but it is going to be killing stuff from the air. The Vikings were on the ground, so they could not do anything about that. And QXC absolutely going to tear through the remains of Trimaster's army. All he has is a couple of Blue Flame Hellions, which are going around for a run-by, but with 4 Blue Flame Hellions and a fully loaded bunker, they are going to meet a very, very fast demise. There it goes. And now we have the Air Force of QXC making its way into the natural of Trimaster. Trimaster can't do anything about this. He has no units that can shoot up at all, and I think that's a GG. I don't really see anything Trimaster can do at this point. He is producing a Viking, which is not going to beat the 3 Vikings of QXC, as you might imagine, and QXC just going to start shooting away at the Siege Tank, at those SCVs as well. And oh my goodness, he's even going to land some of those Vikings, going to start tearing apart those Hellions. Blue Flame Hellions do a lot of damage, but Vikings can withstand it rather nicely. More Blue Flame Hellions coming in from the south of QXC. He now officially has twice the supply of Trimaster. And surely that is a GG. And yes, there it is. Trimaster does GG out of the game, so things going to get tied up once again. Or once again, this is the first time they did get tied up in this series. What am I talking about? I'm haunted by the previous series I have casted. Things are 1-1. Let's go check out game number 3. I'm so excited to see where this TVT takes us. And that was some pretty intense rhyming. I'm a rapper now. Bye, guys.